We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, has recommended to President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos to declare a national state of calamity following the onslaught of Tropical Storm Paeng. NDRRMC Executive Director and Office of Civil Defense Administrator Raimundo Ferrer said at least 21,000 barangays in 17 regions were severely affected by the storm that struck over the weekend. He said the state of emergency should last for 1 year to manage the effects, damages, and projected impacts of Paeng. A declaration of a state of calamity will allow for the release of the government's emergency funds. As of this morning, at least 98 persons were reported dead from Tropical Storm Paeng in the NDRRMC's latest report. 58 were confirmed dead and 53 of them were from the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Meanwhile, 69 persons were injured while 63 others were missing. Paeng affected over 1.8 million persons and over 575,000 families. About 80,000 families are currently in evacuation centers. The storm damaged 757 million pesos worth of infrastructure and over 4,100 houses worth 12.4 million pesos. Damage to agriculture was pegged at 435 million pesos. PAGASA continues to monitor Tropical Storm Paeng on its way out of the country. Paeng re-intensified into a severe tropical storm over the West Philippine Sea this morning. Paeng was spotted 360 kilometers west-northwest of Iba, Zambales with maximum sustained winds of 95 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 115 kilometers per hour. Signal number 1 remains over portions of Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Pampanga, Abra, Benguet, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Nueva Vizcaya, Nueva Ecija, and Bataan. Paeng will continue to bring moderate to heavy rains over Batanes, Zambales, and Bataan. Ilocos Region, Cordillera, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, the southern portion of Quezon, Western Visayas, Babuyan Islands, Mimaropa, and the rest of Central Luzon will experience light to moderate with at times heavy rains. PAGASA said Paeng is expected to leave the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR tonight. Meanwhile, another storm identified as Tropical Depression Queenie has entered the country. Queenie was spotted 975 kilometers east of northeastern Mindanao with winds of 45 kilometers per hour and moving west-southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. PAGASA said Queenie's effects may be felt in eastern Visayas or Caraga region by Wednesday. President Ferdinand R. Marcos is hopeful that one of the ways that Filipinos can cope with anguish and distress is by remembering the saints and their departed loved ones. In his message for All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, Marcos said the COVID-19 pandemic has forced everyone to come to terms with mortality as we realize the uncertainty of our time on Earth. Marcos said both holidays serve as a reminder to strive, live Christ-centered lives, and fulfill our life's purpose until we meet our Creator. The Philippine Embassy in South Korea is closely monitoring the situation and is in coordination with local authorities following the horrific stampede in Itaewon, South Korea. The stampede was described as the deadliest in South Korea's history, with over 100 fatalities and injured about 76 individuals during Halloween revelries. The victims were mostly in their 20s. It was the first series of Halloween events in Seoul since the pandemic broke out in 2020. The capital city has been known for its festive celebration of Halloween, but to date, there was no information yet as to what caused the stampede. Authorities said they are still investigating the incident. In Manila, the Department of Migrant Workers said it is closely monitoring the situation of overseas Filipino workers. The embassy advised Filipinos in Korea to observe precautions during large events. There are over 50,000 Filipinos living and working in South Korea. With a number of visitors expected to flock to different cemeteries in the country this year due to the more relaxed COVID-19 restrictions, A group of environmental advocates is urging the public who will visit cemeteries nationwide to observe cleanliness as they commemorate All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Irish Marie Kaidoy tells us more.
As COVID-19 restrictions ease, the group Ecowaste Coalition is anticipating a massive turnout of visitors in cemeteries, memorial parks, and columbaria, which they say may result in huge consumption of waste as piles of trash are being left in the areas just like in the past years. Mirasol de la Cruz, representative of Ecowaste Coalition, reminds the public that the cemeteries should be kept clean and not to throw away their trash anywhere.
Dahil nga dumadagsa ang mga tao, hindi naiiwasan na magkaroon ng bulto ng mga basura sa mga sementeryo. At iniiwasan natin hanggat maaari ay pinapanawagan natin ang kalinisan at kaayusan sa pamamagitan ng ilang mga paalala.
The group is trying to make everyone aware of their surroundings and appeals to the public to bring in garbage bags and clean their respective areas as they leave. The Ecowaste Coalition encourages the public and the vendors near the cemeteries to embrace the BTS policy or the Bawal Magtapon sa Sementeryo campaign for a healthier, safer commemoration of the All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. The pro-environment group has already coordinated with different local government units or our LGUs and to the other people's organizations.
Technically, matagal na nating pinapanawagan na panatilihin ang kalinisan sa kapaligiran, no? Siyempre, kaayusan ng kapaligiran. So itong darating na Undas bilang preparasyon, nagsagawa tayo ng pre-Undas creative media event, which is pinamagatang title natin, Bawal Magtapon sa Sementeryo, o sa simpleng salita, BTS, no?
Moreover, to amplify their campaign for an eco-friendly and waste-free observance, Ecowaste Coalition and the personnel of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA assembled in front of Manila North Cemetery last October 25 this year. 5 volunteers were also spotted at the event dressed as basuras or cemetery litter box. They say that this is a creative depiction of a pig-like attitude and practices of wallowing in the filth and mud as they urge the public to let go of their wasteful and toxic attitude and practices. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Irish Marie Kaidoy.
As Filipinos commemorate All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, many bring flowers to offer to the graves of dear loved ones departed. However, as the season comes nearer, its prices are also expected to further increase. And Lorraine Bustamante has the story.
Prices of flowers are still expected to increase in time for the celebration of All Saints' Day and the All Souls' Day on November 1 and 2. After a 2-year halt, cemeteries around the country have been opened for this year's celebration. Thus, many bring flowers to offer to the graves of their dearly departed. Flower vendors say that this is due to the expected increase in demand and the need to recover sales. Vendors further explain that prices are adjusted based on the delivery and the supply costs.
Tumaas yung ng bulaklak na binibilhan namin, tataas talaga yung presyo namin. Pero pa ganun pa rin yung presyo, hindi kami magtataas. Depende po. Oo, depende po talaga sa kuhanan namin sa bulaklak.
However, Ronda Vasquez of flower vendors said they try to keep the prices at an affordable level even as Undas is approaching.
As is pa rin po yung presyo namin. Kahit nag-uundas, ma'am, ganun pa rin po yung presyo. Opo, pero yung mga arrangement, ma'am, nagkakaroon kami ng mga special na arrangement.
She said that the price of Malaysian mums ranges from 35 pesos to 50 pesos per stem. The price of arranged flowers depends on the type of flowers and the material used, as well as the customer's preferred arrangement. During the weekend, some customers have already purchased flowers to avoid crowds and to be able to buy them at lower price as an increase is already expected.
Ngayon ma'am, may paisa-isa na pong bumibili para mauna na po sa sementeryo para hindi makipagsiksikan po.
Flower vendors in Dangwa are all geared up and ready to accommodate customers as they need to make sales to be able to catch up with the past years. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Anne-Lorraine Bustamante.
And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Office of the Press Secretary and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change.